This is Babe San Macalas, and once again, thank you for signing up to access the 3 free Saint Joseph ebooks. And as I said in my welcome email, I will be I will be writing some articles or creating a video on something which I hope would help you in your spiritual journey. So this week, I decided to do a video on daily prayer, and I actually learned this from Rediscovered Catholicism by Matthew Kelly. So I took out some excerpts and decided to make a video about it. So here goes. Now, writing a book requires a daily discipline. You have to work at it every day, and even if some days all you do is read over what you wrote yesterday to keep it fresh in your mind. Now, writing a book requires the discipline to write when you feel like it and when you don't. And most people don't have this discipline, which is why many who start writing a book never finish it. The truth is, writing a book is mostly hard work. And prayer is similar in many ways. Many people fail to establish a daily habit of prayer in their lives because they approach it with the wrong expectations. Consciously or subconsciously, most people approach prayer expecting it to be easy. But the truth is, prayer is perhaps the most difficult thing we will ever do. From time to time, we may get carried away by a moment of inspiration in our prayer. But for the most part, prayer is hard work. Work well worth doing, but hard work nonetheless. You see, you don't become a great athlete by training only when you feel like it. And you don't become a great writer by writing only when you feel inspired to write. And the saints, they did not become such fine ambassadors of God on earth by praying only when they felt like praying. In each case, a daily discipline is required. And prayer is central to the Christian experience. A Christian life is not sustainable without it, because growth in the Christian life is simply not possible without prayer. And growing in character and virtue, learning to hear the voice of God in our lives, and walking where He calls us, they all require the discipline of prayer. And it is not enough simply to pray when we feel like it. Prayer requires a daily commitment. Now, there's a big question, and that is, God, what do you think I should do? I call this the big question. It is the question that changed my life forever, and the question that continues to transform my life on a daily basis when I have the courage to ask it. This question should be a constant theme in our spiritual lives and also in our daily prayer life. When we are attentive to it, we are happy regardless of external realities because we have a peace and contentment within. And where this peace comes in, this peace comes from taking into account the only opinion that truly matters, and that is God's opinion. Every day, you make dozens of decisions, some of them large and some of them small. When was the last time you invited God into the decisions of your life? Sometimes I simply forget to consult Him. Sometimes I block His voice out because I want to do something I know He doesn't want me to do. And sometimes I foolishly believe that I know a shortcut to happiness. And these decisions always lead me to misery of one form or another. There is only one question and one course of action that leads to lasting happiness in this changing world. And that is asking the question, God, what do you think I should do? Sometimes when we talk about the saints, we make the mistake of thinking that they were different from us. Actually, they were not. To be a saint is to decide for God and with God. You and I make decisions every day. Some of them are large, but most of them are small. But when was the last time you sat down with a divine architect and asked, God, what do you think I should do in this situation with my spouse or with my husband or with my wife or with my friend? When was the last time you sat down with a divine navigator and asked, God, what do you think I should do in this situation at work? When your kids come to you to talk about what they are thinking of doing with their lives, do you ask them what they want to do? Or do you ask them what they feel God is calling them to? I've known happy people and I've known miserable people. And I can tell you without any shadow of a doubt that the difference between the truly happy people in this world and the miserable people is one thing: a sense of mission. People who are passionate, energetic, and enthusiastic about life have a sense of mission in their lives. Now, what's your mission? How will you discover your mission? Perhaps the first realization is you don't choose a mission. You get sent on a mission. If you don't ask the big question, you won't discover your mission. Start asking the big question: God, what do you think I should do? In the moments of the day, ask the question. In your daily prayer, ask the question. Make this one question a constant part of your inner dialogue. And I promise you, your life will start to change. Life is vocational, meaning it is about seeking, finding, and living out your mission, your vocation. And everyone has a vocation, and finding it truly is the single event that will create more happiness in our lives than anything else. It is about seeking and finding what God has created you for, and then doing it. It is through this process that God will transform you into the best version of yourself. Now, our lives change when our habits change. My life changed when, encouraged by a friend, I began to pray for 10 minutes a day. In those quiet moments of reflection, I stumbled upon the big question: God, what do you think I should do? I have experienced the power of simplicity in my own life, and I invite you to do the same. Before you go to bed tonight, take a small piece of paper, a post-it note perhaps, and write these 4-5 words on it: 10 minutes a day. Stick that piece of paper on the mirror in your bathroom where you brush your teeth. Tomorrow morning, when you are brushing your teeth, decide a time during your day when you will spend 10 minutes in the classroom of silence with your God in prayer. If at all possible, stop by your church. It is probably empty and quiet for most of the day. I know we can pray anywhere, but there is something mystical and powerful about God's presence at church. I challenge you to make daily prayer a priority in your life and to make it an indispensable part of your daily schedule. Don't be deceived by the simplicity of this message. You will be amazed how much 10 minutes each day in a quiet church or in silence can change your life. In time, you may decide to spend more than 10 minutes each day, and that is wonderful. Perhaps your concern is that you don't know how to pray. It is much simpler than you suppose. Step into the silence and in your heart say to God, I don't know how to pray. And already you will have begun to pray. Speak to Him as you would a great friend, a mentor, a coach, or a teacher. When you leave your time of prayer, continue the dialogue with God in your heart throughout the moments of your day. Share with Him your joys and your disappointments, your questions and your doubts. 10 minutes a day. Begin today. The beginning of anything is the most difficult. Getting started is the tough part. Recognize it so that you don't get discouraged. You know, the space shuttle uses 96% of its fuel at takeoff, but then it virtually glides through space and back to Earth. So I urge you, get started. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll talk to you next week.